Hey, what's up, guys? Carlo here. Today I want to talk about a copywriting technique where you can basically glue people's eyes, suck in their attention into your copy so they can't stop reading. So what I'm talking about, it's about storytelling and picture copy, which is basically picturing or making pictures with words. So I'm gonna tell you these two different things so you can write copy that people can actually see, and that applies into Facebook ads, emails, Instagram content, YouTube content, any type of letters or things that you're writing for your online business. So if you want to step it up, pay very close attention to this. So when it comes to storytelling, I see so many people talking to me and saying, man, I don't have awesome ideas. I don't have awesome stories. Like, nothing much happens in my life, right? So I don't have any stories to tell. But what I always tell people is that you don't need a weekend in Las Vegas type of story, right? Any story can be a good story if you paint a picture good enough, if you let people into your world enough, right? Because as human beings, we like to relate to others. We like this feeling, this sense of, wow, I am like him. I've felt this before. I know what he's talking about, right? And that's the kind of people that you want to get, the people that actually relate to your stories and that you build rapport with. That's the type of audience, that's the type of clients that you want to have in the future, because in that way you're going to have people that you vibe with. You're going to have people that share your values, your beliefs, right? That they're like you. So that's the most important thing to get today, guys. Try to always share very deep insights, very deep things that you think, that what is your thought process, what is your feelings in that moment, what are the things that were happening in your life in that moment. So your stories could be anything from just walking your dog outside, right, to a trip, to an experience, to a client that you had, to something that is very interesting. But you don't need a very like high luxury story where you fly in planes and you know and drive Lamborghinis. You don't need anything of that, right? Even in my opinion, people get less connected to those kinds of stories because they can relate. Like, if you could be like, yeah, I was driving my Lambo the other day, and we're like, I've never done that. But if you just say like, I felt the texture of the driving wheel as I was approaching, you know, this awesome place, this place where my life was going to change. You give all this different insights and the different things that connects to the other thing that I was talking about, which is picture copy. Have you ever read a book where basically you just get into that world and you feel like you know how they look like, right? You, like, for example, let's say you're reading like a fiction book and they start describing a character and they're like, yeah, she has this red hair, green eyes, she's skinny, she's brave, she's all these things that you just basically have a mental image of her, and you know how she talks, and you know her characters, her traits, her insights, right? Or like the main character, where you know exactly what he's thinking, you know his feelings. They are out of nowhere, they're like, yeah, he had his palms sweating because he was very nervous. So in that moment, you can imagine his palms basically just sweating. So that's very important. First of all, tell a story, tell something that has a beginning, that has an end, that has a problem, and then like a conclusion, like a pleasure, and try to give as many insights as possible. And with insights, it could be anything from what were you thinking, what were you feeling, to specific details about the shirt you were wearing, the climate, right? It was very warm and I felt very warm, and all these different details that make people just get glued into your copy, because those things, I've noticed that we read them like very quickly. Like, I've been reading copy and it feels so long, but when they give something that is very detailed, something that has a lot of details and a lot of insight, I just find myself reading that part quicker, right? Like time just basically stops for me, right? When I'm reading all these details, because I'm not only reading, I'm imagining. And if you can get people to read and imagine, they're gonna be glued to it, right? It's just like seeing a movie versus a book. If you're seeing a movie, you got so many things at the same time, because you're seeing, you're hearing, you're thinking, you're doing all this, you're feeling, you have all this input and things happening and going on that you just basically can't stop looking at it. But sometimes we're reading books, we're reading emails, we're reading articles where we just get bored, right? We're just very, very bored, and like, I just want to finish this, right? I don't want to read it anymore. But if you find a book that it's about fiction, like, why is it that so many fiction books get so famous, so popular, and so many read them? It's because of that, because they leverage that amount of input just by the written word, which is basically like pretty awesome. So before I wrap it up, I want to dive deeper into this human principle of having a lot of inputs. So as human beings, when we basically save things in our brain, if they have more inputs, we are going to remember it way more. That's why people say participate, play full out when you're trying to learn, right? Don't learn just by reading, but go out there and do it, right? Don't read how to ride a bike, go and ride the bike, and you're going to learn 10 times quicker. Why? Because you got the wind, you got the weather, you got the distance, you got the force, you got the the physical energy, all these different types of things that just basically wire that memory into your brain. So if you have as many inputs as possible, it's gonna be easier to remember. So if you give people all this sensory data through words, they're gonna remember it more, and if they remember it more, then your brand is gonna become stronger, your product is gonna become stronger, you're gonna be in their minds, so then they can take a decision, right? Because most people don't buy first day, like the first day that they see you, they know you, right? They can buy next day or next week or even next year. So if you can stick into their minds with all these things, then you're gonna be able to sell more, to get more clients, and just basically have a bigger impact, right? And have more clients. So that's it for today, guys. If you have any questions, please leave them down below. I always reply. It doesn't matter if it's a dumb question, or you can even just type like, hey, what's up, to let me know you're here. Also, if you want help turning all your ideas, your vision for your business into words that actually make sense, into words that sell, to apply all these techniques into your own company or your own ideas, there's going to be a link down below where you can schedule a call with me. I can assess your business. Basically, just tell me your vision, what's your business about, what do you want to achieve, and then I can see if we are a good fit to work together. So that would be amazing. Click the link down below. I'll see you tomorrow. Peace out.